All right, so we've got breaking news on the Sesko deal. I was trying to enjoy Nando's, and now my friends are over there filming me, recording this. Yeah? There we go. Thanks, Sesko. Thanks, Romano. Anyway, Fabrizio Romano said that Arsenal have begun concrete talks. We are looking to sign Benjamin Sesko. I've got to give credit to Florian Plettenberg. The minute I started to question how much information was coming out from him, everything has kind of come true. We talked about something yesterday on GV2. It's now escaped me what exactly that was. What was it? Maybe it was to do with Sesko as well. Anyway, but Fabrizio Romano's come out after Florian Plettenberg said a few days ago, yeah, like talks are happening between Arsenal and Sesko, and well, between Arsenal and Leipzig, perhaps for Sesko. It looks like this is the one we want, people, and it's going to be over Victor Gyökeres, it seems. There's a lot to digest here. There's actually not really a lot I can say outside of what I've said in all these other videos. In short, Benjamin Sesko is a player, I believe, at the age of 21, I believe he's going to be a top striker. When you watch him and his skill set, how varied he is, including the fact he's got the height, the frame, the physical attributes, the technical attributes, I look at that and I go, yeah, this guy is someone who, when you look at the hype around him 3 years ago, when you look at some of the performances he's put in at a young age, I think, yeah, this is some of the goals he scored. This is a really exciting young player. I think he will get there. I don't think in 3-4 years we'll reflect on this as a bad signing if it's the one Arsenal do. But what we are trying to get right is the signing that propels us to the title next season. Now, Goonerverse said something, which again we discussed on the Goonerverse 2 yesterday, which is that he believes Kai Havertz will play more football than people expect, and that he will ultimately be Arsenal's starting striker come the start of the new campaign. And the Sesko signing aligns with that. And I've got to say, it's exactly what I predicted. I don't think, it's not what I want, but I don't think we're going to be in this world where Arteta and Arsenal sign a striker, and that's our 9 from day one, and bam. I don't think we're going to get the Declan Rice type signing up front, who is going to immediately dislodge whoever's there, and that's what we're going to run with. I just don't think that's what we're going to do, because I think Arteta loves Kai Havertz, because I think there's no deal on the market. Whatever you all think of Gyökeres, and by the way, Gyökeres is the one I want. Let me just get that out there before you all go nuts in the comments. I don't think there's a signing, a striker that you look at, unless it's Alexander Isak, that everyone's kind of unanimously on board with. Get him, chuck him up front, and everything is sorted. There are a lot of people that question Victor Gyökeres, and there's a lot of reports saying that supposedly Mikel Arteta and people at Arsenal question Victor Gyökeres as a fit as well. Seems it's Benjamin Sesko the one they want. And let me just reiterate one more time. I want the win now striker. I think it's Victor Gyökeres. I even think that's actually more Julian Alvarez. So Sesko's kind of third on that list for me. But I think that I had this itch that if we don't sign Benjamin Sesko, we will reflect on him like we're reflecting today on Alexander Isak of 3 years ago. I have this feeling that that might be how it goes. But the problem is that it's not about 3 years' time, it's about now. So does Kai Havertz have what it takes? Do we sign a winger that can play in the false 9 too? A Rodrigo, an Mbemo, a Nico Williams, because it allows us to do something a little bit more exceptional across the whole front line rather than just Sesko being the striker, because it allows us to have a different approach to the front line next season. Trossard's being offered a new deal. There's no kind of murmurs that Martinelli's going anywhere. So maybe they both stay and maybe we get Sesko. Do you want the left foot? It's so complicated. But Fabrizio Romano's come out and said concrete talks have begun. And I'm feeling somewhat excited that we're getting on with what we want to do in this window. I'm feeling excited there's a really exciting young prospect in Benjamin Sesko who could be coming to Arsenal. But I have doubts over whether this is the one. I do have doubts. His goal scoring numbers aren't amazing. His general... when I watch him, there's something raw about his game. But I think that there is something that can be built on there. I don't know. I've got mixed emotions about this one. Ultimately, I think this is a good player to have in the squad, but if it's coming at a cost of 70, 80, 90 million, then I'm a bit perplexed about that deal, when Victor Gyökeres is a £60 million deal that could be done. Is it a needle mover? I don't know. I think he's better than Kai Havertz. But is he good enough to lead us to the title? That's the signing we're trying to get in. But Arsenal and Arteta have wanted this one for a long, long time. Well, going back to last summer, but it sounds like we've been scouting him for a while. We even tried to bring this forward in January. Sam C of the United Stand reported on that. Back in January, we were looking to maybe do this deal and bring it forward. A lot of people won't be happy about this. A lot of people will be very happy. Julian Alvarez, Victor Gyökeres, Ollie Watkins, Benjamin Sesko, that's just 4. Liam Delap is going to Chelsea. There's Victor Osimhen. So what... Of all those names there, is Benjamin Sesko the best option when reports are saying they want about 70 to 90 million pounds for him? No, I'm not convinced. But I do think this is another really good young player who, if we get him in, I think that potential can be and will be realised. I just don't know if it's in time to win us a trophy. And Mikel Arteta doesn't have a lot of time. He said himself in press conferences recently, Mikel Arteta literally said, people are saying, right, we've got to that level, and what now? And what next season? And what next season? And that's big. That's coming from him. That's him putting the pressure on. But the club, would the club put pressure on? I suppose there's internal pressure in terms of the players that are there, the players that want to win. There's pressure from the fans. But now there's pressure from the likes of Thierry Henry, who have plenty to say about the tall building and how much work we've done, but now we need to leave with something. Benjamin Sesko is a tall, rangy, technical footballer. A 6'5", good with the ball. Hold up plays a bit raw, overall game a bit raw, but the technical quality, the range of goals, his kind of moments of magic are there at a young age. And I'm excited about that. But I am sceptical, as I've said a million times in this video already, I'm sceptical about him coming in and bam, Arsenal now just gone up levels because we've added Benjamin Sesko. Arteta always falls back on the system, on the tactics, on the numbers, on the personnel carrying out the instructions. I think he'd rather a 6 out of 10 player that does exactly what he needs him to do than an 8 out of 10 player that doesn't follow instruction, or a 9 out of 10 player that doesn't follow instruction. And that is why I think you'll still see Kai Havertz playing a lot of football next season and Benjamin Sesko being worked in cautiously. But we don't have time to be cautious. This is roll the dice time, Mikel. But what I also don't want is Arteta and Arsenal to end up with players that Mikel doesn't want. And if he doesn't want Gyökeres, he doesn't want him. There are the likes of Alex Goldberg and others still saying that Gyökeres remains the number one target. And there are others saying it's 50-50. But let's see. Florian Plettenberg of Sky Germany, fair play to him. We covered it on the Goonerverse too. That's why I cover things, just to be sure. But I'll give you my opinion if I'm not sure if there's much in it. But that's why I covered that. And now Romano's come out. Fair play to them. They're giving us news that Arsenal supposedly want to do the Benjamin Sesko deal. I'll put in the pinned comment of this video if there's any more updates, any more journalists come through with it. But that's the deal Arsenal want to get done. Benjamin Sesko of RB Leipzig. The reports are saying, I think it was in the Telegraph, that they could want 90 million, and that is not a fee I'd go near. Let's see. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Arsenal in concrete talks for Benjamin Sesko.